Hey curious friends! Movies, records, collaborations, clothing and perfume lines, TV shows, and now even a baseball team owner, and that's not all. You know who we're talking about, right? No, it's not the Kardashians, and it's the one and only Jennifer Lopez. How did she come to collect the exorbitant amount of money that she has in her bank accounts? And just how much does she make from each of her businesses? And how is it that from so much money that she already has the luxury to choose to work without being paid for it, and now she's on her way to dethroning Kylie Jenner in the makeup industry? You know, curious, I advise you to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notifications, and stay where you are because in this video I will tell you all about J-Lo. We cannot talk about the millions of dollars that J-Lo has invested in various businesses without first talking about her origins. Born in the heart of the Bronx in New York on July 24th of 1969, today's Mrs. Lopez knew she wanted to dedicate herself to music. It's in her blood, so let's not forget that she is the daughter of David Lopez and Guadalupe Rodriguez, both born in Puerto Rico. With the Latin DNA, it's no surprise to anyone that from a very young age, Jennifer already knew how to wiggle her hips, and to no surprise, only as she can. And yes, it was precisely thanks to that natural talent that after participating in various events and stages as a dancer, in 1991 she managed to slip in as one of the dancers of none other than Janet Jackson. Obviously, Jennifer would not be satisfied with being anyone's second best. And in order not to be second to anyone, J-Lo needed to broaden her horizons. That's why she tried her luck in movies. The New Yorker made her debut in the 1995 film My Family, and the production that was followed by The Money Train that same year, and the moving 1996 film Jack, in which she played the role of a teacher of the fondly remembered Robin Williams. If you haven't seen that last movie, you already have plans for tonight, curious. It's a good one. A kind of the Curious Case of Benjamin Button, but in reverse. And in advance, you're welcome for the recommendation. Though without a doubt, the role that catapulted her career as an actress to the top was the queen of the Tex-Mex music, Selena Quintanilla, in 1997, and I won't say anything about that movie except to mention the name of Selena, who is fondly remembered by many. My shoulders and hips began to move by themselves just by thinking of the music. And a fun fact, after the movie's premiere, Jennifer became the first Hollywood actress of Latino origin to earn more than $1 million from a single production. Though you can't talk about someone's successes without mentioning their failures. Though in her case, when it comes to failures, at least as far as I'm aware, it is only ones related to love. Calm down, I'm not going to get into every single one of them. For that, we'd need a whole separate video. Not that it's a bad thing or anything, so her story of love triumphs and failures began way back in 1997 when she was briefly married to the model and actor Oyana Noah, and 2 years later, J-Lo began to brag about her new conquest, the rapper who was known as Puff Daddy at the time, and with whom, by the way, in December of that year, she was allegedly involved in a shooting outside of a New York nightclub, and shortly after that, the couple announced their breakup. The rapper was followed by Chris Judd, one of the singer's dancers. Do you remember the video for the song Love Don't Cost a Thing? Well, Chris was one of the 6 dancers that appeared dancing around J-Lo. But the important thing is that what had started with mere speculation ended in marriage at the end of September of 2001, to them separating after just 9 months together. Could it be that the actress had already set her sights on the next conquest far above the clouds? I say that because the same year that J-Lo married Chris, Pearl Harbor was released, a film in which Ben Affleck plays Rafe McCauley, a US Air Force pilot who fought the Japanese during World War II. And yes, you guessed right, the following year he and Jennifer began dating and announced their engagement in November of that year. However, just 2 years later, in early of 2004, they surprised everyone with the news of their separation. Well, if it wouldn't work out with a fellow actor, then maybe it would with a fellow musician. In June of that very same year, J-Lo married the salsa artist Marc Anthony, and it seems that Marc's Latin rhythm and movements were just what the singer was waiting for to decide to become a mother, because on February 22nd of 2008, she gave birth to a pair of twins, a little boy named Maximilian and a girl that they decided to call M. And though it seems that Marc's rhythms might have not been enough to make the New Yorker stay by his side, since after 10 years of marriage in 2014, they announced their divorce that had been finalized despite having separated in 2011. It seems that J-Lo decided to give her dancers another chance because 3 years before signing the divorce papers in 2011, the actress and singer had started a relationship with Casper Smart, who had worked with her for some years. Though once again, that didn't last either, and the couple called it quits in 2016. though she didn't stay single for a long time. A year later in 2017, People magazine announced that Jennifer had started dating baseball player Alex Rodriguez, and in March of last year, they announced their engagement. And in such an adorable way. I told you that the romantic side of the singer's life was quite busy and intense, curious. And since we've gotten to this point, it seems that it is with Alex that she's planning on settling down with. I say this because together they could form a real business empire, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Now we finally get to the point that probably interests most people. How much money does J-Lo have and what does she invest it to keep it coming in? Well, after having acted in 39 films, Hustlers being one of them, and with which she raised about $100 million, in addition to having appeared in 19 TV shows such as American Idol, Shades of Blue, and The World of Dance, and she has produced some of them. According to Celebrity Net Worth, her fortune is estimated at $400 million. You may be asking yourself, oh, so she just pocketed that much money already? Well, no, this is just the beginning. Don't forget that in addition to being an actress, J-Lo is also a singer. Taking that into account, she obviously receives money from the sales of records. For example, with the album On the 6 alone, she reached 8 million record sales, not to mention all of her albums, which, of all, she sold more than 75 million copies. And of course, that's not to mention her live performances. From 2016 to 2018, Jennifer has been performing on the All I Have residency in Las Vegas, which reached a total of 121 concerts that have earned her a whopping $101.9 million in revenue. Well, with so much money, the singer already has the luxury of not charging money for her performances. Do you remember the last Super Bowl in February of this apocalyptic 2020, curious? Well, maybe which teams competed mattered to you as much as it does to me? Absolutely nothing. But surely you remember who was in charge of the halftime show? The Colombian with the most honest hips, Shakira, and yes, J-Lo. Well, it turns out that the Puerto Rican New Yorker didn't get paid a penny for the show. Well, none of the artists performing do, but according to information provided by Billboard, in spite of that detail, her sales and streaming increased greatly. But wait, those aren't all the sources of the millionaire's income. Jennifer Lopez owns a clothing and perfume line that includes more than 25 fragrances. Yes, including Promise, which she launched exactly 1 year ago on September of 2019. What did you say? Are we done yet? Nope. In fact, as chaotic as this 2020 has been, J-Lo has not stopped working hard, and now even threatens to dethrone none other than Kylie Jenner. Of course, we say this because not long ago the singer announced to her millions of fans that in addition to being more than the entertaining and committing her project of learning how to bake banana bread, she has also been working hard on her new project, J-Lo Beauty, her new line of cosmetics. Although this is not the first time that the singer ventures down that avenue, since a couple of years ago in 2018 to be precise, she collaborated with the prestigious brand Inglot Cosmetics. Do you think that she could be considered a dangerous opponent for Kylie Cosmetics and Rihanna's Fenty Beauty? And now, yes, considering all of the above and taking into account that, as we mentioned before, her fortune is valued at $400 million, would it be possible for J-Lo to increase her profits? But of course, and why wouldn't she? If you can make a profit, then by all means do it, and surely with her future husband, Alex Rodriguez, it will only grow. In fact, since we mentioned her engagement right from the start with that pure 15-karat diamond ring that Alex gave her, and which is valued at $1.4 million, she has already added it to her inexhaustible wealth. And that's not all. It turns out that as if they didn't have a full house, a few weeks ago it was announced that the wealthy couple had tried to buy a rival team of Alex's former one, the New York Mets. According to CNBC's report, Jennifer and Alex offered the owners $2.3 billion to purchase the team. However, it was the singer herself who announced her disappointment at not being able to make the purchase. Although it was not because they did not get the right price, but because they could not reach an agreement satisfactory to both parties. The exact words that J-Lo wrote on her social networks are, "Alex and I are so disappointed. We worked so hard the past 6 months with the dream of becoming the first minority couple and the first woman owner to buy her father's favorite Major League Baseball team with her own hard-earned money. We still haven't given up." Impressive, isn't it, curious? Did you have any idea of the overwhelming purchasing power that the singer possessed? Do you think Kylie Jenner and Rihanna should feel threatened when it comes to their cosmetic brands? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow.